The church manual covers all bases by pointing out that remnant has other meanings in scriptures, including members of the kingdom, the saints. The verse cited to claim that remnant refers to all Israel is found in 1 Nephi. However, remnant is clearly only a part of the house of Israel and not the entire house itself. The use of remnant to refer to Jews is found in Isaiah. Again, this is only one remnant, not remnants in the plural. It also has planetary elements, such as Mount Zion, the Lord of hosts, and upward and downward. This will need to be addressed later. Remnant, as a reference to the saints, is found in the Doctrine and Covenant. The statement doesn't refer directly to the Latter-day Saints, but refers to my people, which is not the same thing. Now, moreover, his people are only one remnant of that of Jacob, which would preclude any saint not of that lineage. In not one of the possible meanings of remnant does the manual make a case that any would constitute a fulfillment of the prophecy. The only takeaway is that it is possible that the remnants mentioned in the prophecy could include people other than the Lamanites. And this is hardly a claim of fulfillment. Until these terms, remnant and Gentile, are clearly defined within the context of the revelation and then specifically tied to a historical fulfillment under those definitions, this prophetic element cannot be considered fulfilled. And we intend to address this element later. The 11th prophetic element concerns the final phase of the end-time wars. The Lord, in his all-consuming wrath, will destroy the world through planetary calamities, making a full end of all nations. The Church's Doctrine and Covenants student manual does not even attempt to claim this element has been fulfilled. Instead, it is reserved for a future fulfillment. The Church obviously recognizes that the calamities have not happened and that all the nations of the world still exist. Therefore, it is obvious that the concluding stage is yet to be fulfilled. Unfortunately, the Church does not understand the nature of these future events. The Lord is clear as to their nature, calling himself the Lord of Sabaoth. The manual cites the scholarly understanding of the title. The understanding is incorrect. As we pointed out repeatedly, the title, the Lord of Hosts, is the short form of the longer title, the Lord of the Hosts of Heaven. The host of heaven are the planets and only the planets.
When the Lord musters his host, he will summon them from the far reaches of space or from the end of heaven. This host, to be specific, will not include the distant stars, nor the sun or the moon. The soldiers in the Lord's host are the planets.
To finish, these events, wars of various types, are connected, forming a series or continuum. They cannot be disconnected or isolated from each other. This continuum is expressed as being poured out from one place, South Carolina, to the entire world, eventually bringing the fall of all nations. This continuum of connected wars has not occurred. The Church claims, to the contrary, that there are independent and isolated wars occurring over time that meet the criteria of the Revelation. These wars cannot and do not fulfill the 12th prophetic element. This can only mean that the first prophetic element, that there will be wars, is also not fulfilled. Only the American Civil War meets the criteria set forth in Section 87. Of the 12 elements of prophecy set forth in the Revelation, only 3 meet the criteria for fulfillment, while 1 can only partially fulfill in criterion. The remaining 8 elements in no way fulfill the demands of the prophecy. For a reputed prophet, such as Nostradamus, or a futurist like Nikola Tesla, a 25% hit rate is considered remarkable. But prophecy is not prediction. Prophets, true prophets, have actually seen the events as they occur. There is no guesswork or margin of error. The events will take place exactly as described, without exception. We must also note that the prophecy recorded in Section 87 of the Doctrine and Covenants comes from no ordinary prophet. It is the word of the Lord Jesus Christ.